Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today I am reviewing a 2023 Volkswagen Jetta SE. A very good automobile that does the basics very well. It is one of these vehicles that I consider an economy car, and it is not a luxury car, but it is a car that just does the basic things very well. It is a very good car that delivers excellent power on the highway, and it delivers a smooth transition of power on the city streets. It's one of these cars that I was able to rent for the day because my Porsche Cayenne is down for the count only for one day because I'm going to bring it over to the mechanic. I will explain to you in the next frame what I mean by that. The drive shaft you see in the frame is disconnected and it needs to get repaired. Thankfully, it's under warranty. So the Volkswagen Jetta is one of these vehicles that I consider to be very stylish. This was the car that every hot girl in high school drove. It is one of those cars that just looks good from every angle, and it looks more expensive than it actually is. I mean, it reminds me of an Audi S4. A great car with a lot of personality and very sharp lines. When we look at the rear design, or the aluminum trunk plate looks exactly like the one it does in my Porsche. If I look at the wheel design, the 5-spoke, multi-spoke design actually looks like something that would have been produced by Porsche. This is all because it's part of the VW group of automobiles that includes Lamborghini, Audi, Seat in Europe, as well as Volkswagen and Porsche. And we can't forget Lamborghini. I think I might have mentioned it. But the most important comparison, I think, is Bentley, because Bentley and Volkswagen share a lot of the things in common. In order to get to the vehicle, I need one of these desponders. Very old school, but it's very basic, and I'm sure they switch out the logo for whatever model that it is used for, but it seems very basic, but it's not bad. It even has a carbon fiber leather pouch. For the tall driver getting into the driver's seat, it's not very comfortable. I did bump my knee a few times, but you do fit, and it should be okay. This car is a fairly comfortable fit, but for someone who's 6'5" like myself, it is a fairly tight fit. It is not the most comfortable car in comparison to something like a Volkswagen Touareg or something that I'm familiar with in terms of like the Volkswagen Atlas, which has a lot more headroom and it has a lot more legroom. This car is a tight fit for a tall person, but for the average consumer who's maybe anywhere between 5'7" and 5'10", this is a fairly comfortable fit. In terms of ergonomics and presentation, you'd be surprised that this has very tight-fitting panels all the way around the perimeter of the air conditioning vents, all the way to the Apple CarPlay Android audio system, as well as the blank switches that you have over here. There's a lot of blank switches, but it's not a bad thing. They're actually fairly styled. They're styled pretty correctly, and it somehow matches the leather stitching on the shift knob, the aluminum automatic transmission shift knob, and the fit and finish is top notch. Everything Volkswagen ever makes from the Volkswagen Group is surprisingly really good. The switchwear on the steering wheel is reminiscent of Porsche. The binnacle that houses the fake gauge cluster, it is now a screen, is pretty good, but it looks a little bit dated. I'm sure with the next generation of cars, it's only going to be a giant screen like you have on the BMW or the Lincoln models or anything coming from anything out of Germany at this point, because even Mercedes-Benz has ditched the analog gauges in favor of the LCD or LED screens that are now prevalent throughout all cars. In terms of cargo capacity, an entire body can fit in this trunk. You could fit lots of luggage in here, and you'd be surprised. You could probably fit more luggage in here than you can in the Porsche Cayenne in the distance. Not bad at all. And because this is the base model, you don't have to press a button to close the trunk. The first thing in my initial experience is the power steering is immaculately smooth. The slightest turn of the steering wheel feels effortless. Although a bit disconnected, it feels very digital, but for the most part, it's on point, it's very direct. And I think that's something that speaks volumes for the driver that interacts with this car. It is nothing like a Volkswagen Golf GTI, where it's a little bit stiffer and it's a little bit dialed in for sporty excursions. This is a little bit more on the luxury, effortless frame of mind. Can you see me completely? Sort of? Even the top half in the car? Okay. What are you doing?
Te ponga de lado mejor.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to put B-roll. Así, de lado.
Sí, sí, te ve mejor.
Okay. In terms of Volkswagen, I think this is a fairly good car. This is not bad. It's a good evolution of what the vehicle embodies. This is definitely the people's car. It's something that's basic, easy transportation, and if you want something that's very luxurious looking at a fraction of the price of an Audi, you can't go wrong.